This is George Dionne of the Rock is George podcast, and this is a KNAC.com exclusive interview with vocalist ELINA SIIRALA of the symphonic metal act Leaves' Eyes. Today, we're talking about Leaves' Eyes' latest EP. It's Song of Darkness. It came out on March 6th through Reigning Phoenix Music. This follows up your studio album in 2024, Myths of Faith. How soon after that album did you start writing the new EP?
Oh my gosh, I have to think about now. It was a bit spread. It wasn't that all the songs were written, let's say, in the same time. But the latest one was Song of Darkness, and I think the oldest one was Hall of the Brave, out of those 4 songs. And I also wrote the Roots Eternal a while ago, the original demo for this song. And then Until the Last Day is also one of the kind of newer ones. So yeah, it was spread. I would have to look at my calendar to see when we were working in the studio.
So how does the songwriting process work within Leaves' Eyes? Does Alexander write the music, you compose the lyrics, or is it a little bit of give and take?
Yeah, no, it's not like that at all, actually. He's mainly responsible for lyrics. So he is he wants to, or he's coming up with the concepts for the songs and albums because he's very much immersed into this Viking scene, and he's very much researching all the topics, and he comes up with really cool stuff for the songs. But sometimes also, like from the last album, In Eternity, was of course from me, and I wrote the lyrics also for this song. And Roots Eternal, we worked on those lyrics together a little bit later. And the music can be various ways, like some songs, demos came from me, and then some we're working with Jonah Weingarten, so he makes orchestrations for us. Some songs start with a drum beat idea. Some songs start with a riff idea of the guitar, and we recently also wrote a demo with my partner Dominic. So it can be anything really.
The EP, Song of Darkness, as a whole, is a story, correct?
Well, I mean, it is a collection of stories. It's not really like a concept in a way that they would be directly connected to each other, but it continues this route of mythical and mystical kind of topics, I would say, more than lots of battles this time.
And it's sort of a dark tale with kind of a little bit of hope towards the end, correct?
Yeah, I mean, if you take Song of Darkness, for example, it's a pretty dramatic saga with all the murder and revenge and everything. But for me, it's somehow, there's some kind of hope in the music. I always saw it like this. I don't even know why, but also it comes out in the music video really nicely with the symbolism.
Well, I think heavy metal in of itself can be quite dark, but you add those orchestral elements. The orchestra sort of is that hope, and almost every movie we watch or anything we hear, I think those strings and stuff like that is kind of that sign of coming out of the darkness.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, there's always the lightness of my voice also compared to Alex's growls and everything. It always is this balance between the heavy and light in this music.
And you have, to go along with cinematic music, you sort of have this cinematic music video for Song of Darkness. How long did it take to put that together?
Yeah, we were filming it several days, actually. And it always takes a lot of effort, of course, for all the details. And then afterwards, all the cutting and everything that Alex is doing for the videos, it takes for sure time and effort. But the result speaks for itself, I think. It's really fantastic video. Visually, it looks great.
So you mentioned that Alex does most of the songwriting when it comes to the lyrics, and it kind of draws from this Viking lore and mythology for the most part. Does he ever send you anything where you're reading through the lyrics and you're like, what the heck is this? I have no idea what he's talking about.
No, not really, because I mean, he has a way of choosing really interesting sagas and historical, stories and everything. So I find it very fascinating, of course, and I think it fits really well in Leaves' Eyes, with the visual and everything that we want to kind of represent as a band. So it works fantastically. So there's not really anything I can complain about.
Well, tell me a little bit about the Song of Darkness. From what I understand, it's a tragic love story.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's about a murder, revenge. Excuse me, and the music for me is kind of also very contrasted. It has this very dark and mysterious verse where I'm also singing very different. For me, vocally also, it's a big difference between the chorus and the verse. And I like doing that, but it's also very challenging to bring out as a singer, because the chorus is then much higher, but it's not really like a battle song, so I can't really like sing it super loud and stuff. So it has to have this ethereal, mood, and this vibe is sometimes not so easy when you have the pounding guitars and drums behind you, and you want to bring, on the other hand this, and then you want to bring the darkness of the story out. But I like the mid part as well. It's beautiful. This song has a lot of elements in it. So yeah.
You mentioned the final song on the EP, Root Eternal, as being one of the last ones you guys worked on. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that song?
Yeah, this is actually the one from me, and it was written a while ago. I wrote it, oh gosh, I don't remember now when, but a while ago, and we worked on the lyrics together to make it fit a little bit more into the Leaves' Eyes, let's say, the storytelling and topic, and then Alex came up with the idea to make it about this sacred tree, which I really like the image of the roots spreading across the universe and kind of connecting everything. It's a beautiful kind of idea and image in my head that I have for this song. I mean, I love ballads. I would write probably 100 ballads if I could, but yeah. So that's, and I really like how it came out also with all the arrangements and everything like at the end, and very, very cool guitars and everything. So yeah. That was kind of the short story of this song.
Now, Leaves' Eyes tends to release an EP in between full studio albums. Is there a full studio album being worked on?
Yes, absolutely. We are well on our way. The kind of vocal arrangements are almost done at the moment, and then there's still a lot to do, of course. The guys have to work on the rest of the stuff, guitars and the rest. But we are on our way, and permitting all our lives, busy lives, and we try to find the time to come to the studio, and we really want to make it done sooner than later. So yes, we are on our way.
So when you do your vocal parts for something like this EP or any album that you've worked on with Leaves' Eyes, do you know where Alex is going to come in with the guttural vocals, or do you do your parts first and then he adds in? He's like, you know what, a scream right here would be really good.
No, this is all done in the pre-production. So we do together, we go, that's what we work on, the vocal lines, and that's all there. Of course, something can be still added or altered a bit, but no, it's not really like a surprise that, whoa, okay, there he's coming. So I know beforehand, of course, where he's going to be in.
Song of Darkness is your first release for Reigning Phoenix Music. How did the signing with this label come about?
Yeah, this is actually probably a question for Alex, because he has a lot of friends there, and he knows those people. Is a very good friend with the label owner also. So they were already long time talking about this to work together, and then finally made it happen. So yeah, it's kind of simple way, but very exciting beginning or new chapter for us.
Absolutely. Leaves' Eyes is in the middle of the Song of Darkness tour. You just finished up a run of the Netherlands, Germany, Belgium, and the UK. How did those shows go?
Yeah, it was really good. It's always exciting to play new songs live for the first time. We already played Song of Darkness in Latin America in November, but it was now time also to bring another song, Hall of the Brave, on stage, and also this Song of Darkness to people in Europe. So it was great. Yeah, it was really 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 cool gigs and a nice time on the road. And I would say you never know how the new songs will be perceived. People don't necessarily know them so well. But it was great. I think they work very well live, and they add something to the set list for sure.
Now, did you change your stage presentation any to complement the new EP? I know that Leaves Eyes is kind of known for their visuals on stage as well.
Yeah, I mean now it was a bit short notice for this, unfortunately, and you need like you sometimes need a bit bigger settings. Like Wacken, for example, is perfect for bringing like really something extra, or when we brought the Viking ship on stage and like this. But of course we also always want to bring Vikings on stage when they can join us. We had them also on a couple of shows, and then we had a lot of what is it called, the haze. We have our smoke machines, and it was actually really funny because some of the venues, we never had that before, that it was so much that you could see nothing actually. And we were laughing about it afterwards, like, okay, we had to switch them off in London because the fire alarm upstairs was going off. So that was kind of funny. But yeah, sometimes too much is too much. But yeah, it was really great, and we had also guests on stage. Jonah was joining us, and Zoe also in vocals, and yeah, it was really cool.
Well, you mentioned Jonah Weingarten earlier, and his band Catalyst Crime opened up for you. Were you able to catch any of their set?
Yeah, of course, every evening. I mean, not really like front row, but of course, always. And they also played with us already 2 years ago, so I know them very well, and it's always cool to tour with them. And yeah, I think they also hopefully had a great time with us, and I'm sure we'll see them soon again.
Leaves Eyes is going to be heading off to China and Japan next month. Have you played in these countries before?
Yes, I was once in Japan, I believe 2019, so a while ago already. It was before the pandemic. And yeah, it will be really great to go back. Would be cool to have a bit more time to see again around, but 2 days, and then China. I was never in China before, so that will be the first time, one tick again off the list. So yeah, it will be very interesting.
Yeah, I don't actually see a lot of bands playing China. That's kind of unique that you have that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, and it will be interesting to see how it is there, because yeah, it's kind of like a bit of a different world in some ways. So yeah, it will be nice to see how the people are and how the audiences are.
Uh, is there any chance that Leaves Eyes are going to make their way to North America this year?
Um, yeah, I would say we just started now working together with a booker there, so hopefully it will actually make us finally come back there. It's just become more and more and more difficult, just like with the UK, with the Brexit and everything. Unfortunately, it's very difficult, but we of course want to come back, and maybe not this year because we have to work on a new album, but hopefully next year.
When was the last time Leaves Eyes was in America? Was it 2017?
It was, yes, with Sabaton, yes.
So it's a long time coming that you're returning.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right.
What was it a good experience for you when you were here in 2017?
Yeah, it was fantastic. I mean, this tour was really, really great. The only minus was that we were, both Nora and me, we were absolutely sick, like so ill the whole tour. But other than that, it was really, really great. Yeah, can't complain.
So this year marks the 10th year of you as the vocalist of Leaves Eyes. How were you originally recruited into the band?
Yeah, this was I played with my own band, Angel Nation, back in I believe it was 2015, and we played same festival back then. Very briefly met And then we, later that year, we supported Leaves' Eyes also in London. So then also just said hello. And then a few months later, I got a call and I flew to Germany. I didn't really know what it was about. So just sang some songs, Leaves' Eyes songs. And then I was told that, yeah, what's the situation? And 2 weeks' time was the first show in Jakarta. So that was crazy. Yeah.
Were you nervous going in to record your first recording with them, Fires in the North, since you were the new girl coming into this established band?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was always very clear that I was going to come there as myself, completely different kind of vocalist and performer and everything. So that was not really, my concern is always that I want to do the best I can, and, then it's enough. And I'm very, very critical of myself. So of course, also I'm very happy that I developed so much over the years myself, and I can bring more and more into the band and in general, just as a singer and an artist. So back then, I think my first recording was actually Edge of Steel. We did a version of Edge of Steel, and we made the music video, and then the first release was Fires in the North. So there was a little bit of recording before that, but even then the EP was a little bit slightly different style already, so it was maybe tailored a bit more for my voice and stuff. So yeah, I think I felt pretty comfortable already back then.
And you mentioned your band Angel Nation. You released an album under that name back in 2022, Antares. Is the band, or are you still writing music or performing with Angel Nation?
Yeah, with Angel Nation, I absolutely loved making this album, and I'm always very, very grateful for the support that the fans gave us through the crowdfunding and everything for this album. It was fantastic, and we toured with this album, but it's very, like I said before, the guys are in UK, and they, of course, also have their own lives and stuff, so it's very, very difficult to make things happen. Everything is very financial, so expensive, so we have to see with this, but I am all the time writing music, and indeed been writing for years now already since then, and it's a little bit different kind of stuff. So I don't know if it's going to be Angel Nation, but something else. We'll see in the future. Yeah. So
the Song of Darkness EP was the first time I heard your vocals, or Leaves' Eyes for that matter. But, you remind me of sort of that operatic style voice that I would hear in like a Broadway play, or Andrew Lloyd Webber, or someone like Sarah Brightman. Have you ever performed that kind of music outside the heavy metal scene?
Well, I mean, yeah, I have a classical background. I have a degree in classical music, so I used to perform operas on stage, and over the years, as I mentioned before, I've been working on a lot to become more and more versatile with my voice, and it always depends on the song, how it's going to fit, how can I do it, and what fits really the mood of the song. But it's a good example, for example, in Song of Darkness, how I sing the verses and then versus the choruses. It's very different, and I love this, and I love singing all kinds of stuff. I still sing some classical stuff also for fun, and I teach all the time, pop, rock, music theater, everything. So I'm very versatile, like with my taste of music, and I like to sing all kinds of stuff.
Was there something that drew you to heavy metal, something specifically, or a band that you liked that said, hey, I want to give this style of music a try?
It was a bit more about the fact that I moved to London back in 2008, and I was supposed to study there just for a year, and it was a module where we went through all the styles, and one was like rock and that kind of stuff, and I really loved performing rock. I never thought my voice would be, suiting for it, so that's why I then later started my own band. But I met some people in the scene. They kind of introduced me to the metal scene in London. I started going to the clubs and listening to the music a bit more also, and that's how I kind of got into it more and more. I really like the power of, also the classical music combined with the metal music, and it's a really cool world with so much. You can be so expressive, and you're not bound with any kind of rules or boxes, so you can just do what you want, which I really like.
Absolutely. Well, those are all the questions I have for you today, Elina. The new Leaves Eyes release is Song of Darkness. It's out now through Reigning Phoenix Music. Fantastic release, and I want to wish you the best of luck with it, and thank you for telling me more about it today.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure, actually. Absolutely.